Today on Reddit Reader, r/relationshipadvise, posted by Throw RA Marriage. My boyfriend, a male of 26, doesn't believe in marriage because it incentivizes me, a female of 25, to divorce him and take all of his money. I've been with my boyfriend for 5 years, and I have been beyond happy in our relationship. He truly is the love of my life, and I have never been this in love with anyone before. For the past 2 years, I've been waiting for him to propose to me. When we would go on beautiful vacations, I would get my hopes up extremely high, and I would end up being so utterly disappointed when he wouldn't propose that I would be holding back tears for days after. I couldn't handle his emotional roller coaster pattern anymore, and I finally asked him when he was going to propose to me. It felt like my heart was going to stop from shock when he responded by simply saying never. After a long, heart-wrenching conversation, he explained that he never planned to propose to me because he doesn't believe in marriage and that the United States government incentivizes women to divorce their husbands and take all of their money. I honestly don't know what to do from here, and I'm completely heartbroken. Any advice? Man, that's a rough one. Why not offer him a prenup? I don't know. What do you guys think? And on our next post, we have another r/relationship advice. This one from Throw RA Loving Mom 12. My 57-year-old female, only son 33-year-old male, doesn't want to live near me. I feel like I'm no longer part of his life, and I'm not important to him. Hello, and sorry for this long post. Any advice on how to cope with this eternal empty nest feeling is appreciated. I'm starting to resent my son, and deep down I know I'm being irrational, but I don't know how to deal with this feeling. To give a bit of context, me, a 57-year-old female, and my husband, 64-year-old male, are from a small town in South Africa. We have come from a culture where family togetherness is encouraged, and children rarely move so far away from parents. They usually leave for college, but after graduating, they normally move back to our town to live near their parents and extended families. Or if they don't end up living here, they stay within 50 kilometers or so from our town. We are really close to the state's capital, so there's no such thing as there is no job opportunities in our area. The families are never really separated. They see each other almost every weekend. I say this because I know most Reddit users are from the USA, and I know it's cultural for kids to leave home when they reach 18, and some families only see each other a couple times a year after. Now, my son is 33, and he moved away when he was 18. He went to a very prestigious state university. The city where he moved was a 3-hour drive from our town, which was not bad for us. Some of our friends' kids ended up going to college in another state, more like a 12-hour drive. We were very happy when our son was approved on this university, since it was not far away. We could see each other very often. Normally we visited or he visited us every month. While still in college, he was able to get an internship and then a full-time job in his field during his last year. This made us very proud to see he was able to earn his own money without even having to finish college. He also met his girlfriend there, who is now his wife. We loved her since we met her, and her family was from a town about 70 kilometers from ours, which seemed perfect. Naturally, since it was always the way things worked where we lived, we expected him to move back after graduating. We were wrong. He decided to stay where he was and moved in with his wife. Not gonna lie, I didn't like this idea from the start, and I always thought he should be thinking about moving back to our town, or his wife's family's town, or at least our state's capital where they would have better job opportunities than where they lived. Plus, he would not be 3 hours away from us anymore, and we would be able to see each other every weekend. Whenever I touched the subject of him moving closer, he shrugged it off, saying he didn't really want to, because he and his wife were happy where they were. He gave all kinds of excuses not to. He liked the city, he liked his job, he liked where he was, and he didn't want to leave. After they got married, I gave up in this matter and thought, well, it could be worse. At least we lived in the same state and still saw each other with some frequency. Now, things did get worse. In February 2019, out of nowhere, my son announced that he and his wife were moving to North America at the end of the year. They were both interviewed and hired by different enterprises, and he told me that with the biggest smile on his face. I tried to be happy for him, I really did, but I couldn't help resenting him. I never thought he could do such a thing. Why was he choosing to move to North America? So all those excuses not to move closer were lies? Now, one may argue that they would have better opportunities in North America than where we lived, but that's really not the case here. Had they pursued it, he and his wife would be able to land perfect jobs at our state's capital with similar payment and with lower cost of living. I did the math, not simply saying this out of nowhere. Still, they chose to move. Now my son isn't a 3 hour drive from us anymore. He is almost 10,000 kilometers away, and we can't see each other often. It breaks my heart, and I don't know how to deal with all of this. I've been trying to convince them to move back, but they refuse. I know all the excuses. They are happy there, they like it there, they want to stay. No matter what I say, he won't listen. I know I'm irrational, but I can't help feel he is abandoning me. I can't understand his decision to move so far away from his family. This almost feels like he doesn't care for us or doesn't love us. Why was it so easy for him to not think about us? I know it's his life and I don't get to have an opinion, but it's hard not to think these stuff when literally every family around you has their kids nearby. Kids who grew up, graduated, and took the time to put their family into their thoughts when they took life-changing decision. FaceTiming a couple times a week is not enough for me to maintain a healthy relationship with my son. I need to have him nearby. I need to be able to simply get in my car and visit him when I miss him. Now he and his wife are talking about buying a house there, and I know what this means. They will be rooted to where they are now. And to get things even worse, I know they are trying to have a kid once they buy their house. I know about this because my daughter-in-law's mother told me. She said my son didn't say anything to me so I wouldn't get more anxious. So that's it. I no longer feel like I have a son in my life. And I will also not have my grandkids in my life because they will be living in another country. How do I deal with this? I'm doing therapy for a few months now, and all my therapist ever says is I don't get to control my adult son. I don't want to control him. I want him to think about me. I want him to take me into consideration. I need someone to tell me my son still loves me. I need to be assured he is not abandoning me. And I need to be told I'm irrational to think he should be putting me and my husband into his thoughts when making decisions. I'm very sorry for this long rant. I know this is my issue and not my son's. I know I need to deal with this alone. But it's so hard not having anyone to talk to. It doesn't get any easier to see all those families around us gathering every weekend, adult children with their kids, seeing their grandparents, and having a happy life. This is all I ever wanted, and all I'm never getting. Sorry for the long rant. Well, what do you guys think? Our next relationship advice is brought to us by Icky138. I'm a 40-year-old female, and my boyfriend, a 39 male, thinks we have different values because I don't want to pick up hitchhikers. Some context. He's always been a traveler type. We both lived in a way that has put us in positions of being non-necessity hitchhikers ourselves in the past. And we both have picked up plenty of people from the side of the road. I no longer stop people due to an incident that happened in 2017. Essentially, I welcomed in some travelers to take showers, use Wi-Fi, etc. And let's just say my house burned down that night. I lost everything. It was traumatic. The altruism left my body that night, and I feel terrible about it. But I no longer go out of my way to help people. I do not consider it a risk I can afford. This was when we started dating, so he's always known me to be against it. When actually, I've been the exact same way he is my whole life up until that incident. Driving home from DC last night, we saw two people walking on the side of 70, and he started to slow down, and I was like, no, please don't. We don't have an inch of space in the truck, and we had the only two valuables I even have, my laptop and my iPad. He didn't stop, but made a comment about us having different values. I'm fuming still today, and the only thing I've said to him is that if his were higher, he maybe would consider me over strangers. But honestly, I feel terrible. I hate how horrible people are. I hate the comment sections. I hate how rude and inconsiderate people are. I've always tried to live in a way where I was never that person, learning boundaries as I got older. I don't feel like myself with this level of misanthropy. I'm walking around with unconditional positive regard, just about absolutely loathing people at the same time, and this is a personal value that I am sensitive over because I am not happy to have lost it. I don't understand how he is equating this to values. He is really easy to talk to, but I feel too angry right now to even try. Am I making this a bigger deal than it is? And for our last relationship advice, we have Starlight8519 saying, what would you do? My husband, a 43-year-old male, placed an AirTag in my, a 38-year-old female, boot/trunk. Together 14 years, married 8 years. I ended our marriage 4 weeks ago because I can't cope with the verbal and emotional abuse anymore. Unfortunately, we have to live in the same house, and he has been smothering me with apology texts and looking for cheat hugs. Gets upset with me for being cold and heartless. I took this week off to spend time with our kids as they are on midterm, and I have taken them away for a few days. Firstly, he did not want me to go as he will miss us too much. Secondly, he doesn't want me to have space that I have been asking for because it's giving me ways to hate him more. Yesterday when I left, he texts me about 45 minutes later to say that he left the AirTag in my boot trunk from the previous day. I said I only saw it on the shelf that morning. When did he put it in? He texted me saying today, just before you left. I thought it would make it easier for me if I could see where you were. It might make it easier for me, but I realized it was also a massive invasion of privacy and it's too late to take it out now, so I wanted to let you know before you got to wherever so you can take the battery out. I had no right, and I wasn't thinking, and another moment of madness yet again. I have fucked up, but I wanted you to know, hence why I texted you and told you. It was purely so when I was lonely and sad I could check up on you guys. Please note, he wants to reconcile and finally realizes all he wants is me. He did resent me, but no longer does. How does he honestly think this act of stupidity would help him or make me want to give him another chance? He doesn't see anything wrong with what he has done because he told me about it. I would have found out about it regardless, as I received a notification that an AirTag was tracking me. I'm in shock, if I'm honest. I don't know what to do, hence my question, what would you do? Another tough one. What do you guys think? That's all the relationship advice stories we have for you today, guys. Please like, share, subscribe. See you later.